know what I'm saying? Little C's, Cheek Del Vec,
Nino Brown, and Bugsy for the Sixers representing
Al Capone. You know what I mean? We keep it real up now, you know what I mean?
Junior Mafia, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, New York, active from 1994 to 1997. Why do hip-hop cliques fail most of the time? When an artist finally gets his or her big break, what do they usually do? They put the homies on. It's only right because for the most part, said crews wouldn't have gotten that look any other way. But hip-hop history has shown that rap crews never really pan out outside the main artist having success and usually disband pretty soon, only to embark on failed solo careers and sometimes interviews bashing their leader for not putting them on in a way that satisfied their success. The Disturbing the Pieces of the world, State Property, Terror Squad, The Outlaws, ASAP Mob, Odd Future, Bankroll Mafia, The Lunatics, Dog Pound, Bird Gang, Skull Gang, and the list goes on forever. What is it about crews that 99% of the time don't stand the test of time? One crew that was thought to have the magic ingredient to do so was Junior Mafia. They had arguably the greatest rapper of all time as their leader, came up in the perfect era for their raw lyrics, and even had a few names that would become at least popular on their own, although only one ever had the success they planned on in the beginning. But if you ask the casual hip-hop fan to name the members of Junior Mafia, I'm pretty sure outside of Lil Kim and maybe Lil C's, they wouldn't know. Outside of Lil Kim, none were able to break through the household barrier and become major stars. Fast forward to the early 2000s, the group has long disbanded. One even took the stand and testified on the other, to being called out in a rap for being a so-called snitch. One left for real estate success, and in total, they became a thing of the past that no one outside of hip-hop blogs really care about. Definitely not for the music. In my opinion, generally, when you form a rap crew, what happens is one member is usually the most serious and is probably destined to be a star in the first place. But at that point, he has no manager or street team to help him with the legwork of getting on, and needs others around in places like the studio and maybe even on stage hyping his music, giving him that confidence he'll need later on. These people roll blunts, crack jokes, grab the woods from the corner store, hold the guns, and look tough around the star as he stands front and center as to say, look, I got this many people with me and they believe in me, so you should too. At some point, they get on the mic and soon find it was never for them. Was it ever for Junior Mafia? Why did they fail? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Junior Mafia, which stands for Masters at Finding Intelligent Attitudes, is a group from Brooklyn that was formed by the late great Notorious B.I.G. in the early 90s and have officially been active from 1994 to 1997. Group members originally were Lil Kim, Little Caesar, Trife, Larceny, Nino Brown, Chico Del Vec, MC Klepto, Capone, and Bugsy, members of separate crews prior. The Snakes, The Sixes, 47 MC, Lil Kim as a solo act, and MC Klepto. They all knew or were introduced to Biggie prior to rap at some point, and it became known that Big had enough talent to possibly make it in the industry. They released one album as the collective we know them as in 1995, and of course another in 2005, although by then only Larceny, aka Banger, Klepto, Lil C's, and Nino Brown were featured since Lil Kim sued Lil C's for using her likeness. Their style was raw, gritty, sexual, and filled with junior boss talk as B.I.G. acted as head honcho to a bunch of wild young loose ends. Lil Kim was always destined for stardom as Biggie took her under his wing and promoted her as his female counterpart. Stunt number 1, When the Head Falls. The most important, and some would argue the only reason Junior Mafia didn't last, was losing their head member Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie Smalls, who was murdered in 1997 in Los Angeles, California, as a result of a long-standing feud with friend-turned-rival Tupac Shakur. There's many conspiracies as to why he was killed and even who was responsible, but one thing's for sure: when he died, Junior Mafia essentially died right along with him. As mentioned earlier, rap crews aren't usually formed because of equal talent or equal drive to be rap stars. Most individuals in the crew only ever picked up the mic because they were in the studio so often and had no other choice. I mean, Nas has a bodyguard that had a verse some claim was better than Nas's, but that's another story. Biggie took Junior Mafia under his wing, and by 1995, they released their debut album Conspiracy August 29th behind the singles I Need You Tonight, Player's Anthem, and Get Money, which became one of hip-hop's most popular songs of all time. It became the group's second biggest hit and sold 1 million copies domestically, making it certified platinum. The album sold almost 70,000 copies first week and later went gold. But success wasn't instant for the group, as they received criticism for all sounding the same outside of Kim and seeming like Biggie imposters in subject matter and style. Being a female, Kim was able to get away with this. After Biggie died, Lil' Kim was the only member to see major success, releasing numerous albums after, compared to Lil C's that only released one, which was under Lil' Kim's label, along with Biggie's, Undia's, and Atlantic Records. Many claim B.I.G. was behind the bars of Junior Mafia, a claim that became even more strong, seeing that after he passed, the members pretty much faded away. Stunt number 2, no lasting talent.
You was nominated for a Grammy. You're working with a lot of people, Junior Mafia.
Yeah, we just finished Junior Mafia album, just one gold.
With that being said, not only was it known that Biggie was behind the bars of Junior Mafia, but other rappers have said to have penned verses as well that led to some of the Mafia's most popular songs. For example, it was later said that Cameron, who was just about to sign to Biggie's label before he was gunned down, was the artist responsible for Little Caesar's verse on Crush on You, which is arguably Lil Caesar's most popular verse to date, and a song that was originally supposed to be for Lil C's, written entirely by Cameron for the Junior Mafia artist but given to Lil' Kim. Mase was also said to have written major pieces of Junior Mafia's tracks at the order and payment of Biggie himself. As far as Lil' Kim, it's been a long-standing rumor that she herself didn't pen her own lyrics entirely, as it's said that Biggie was initially writing for her while alive, and also ghostwriters have come out and disclosed they were also involved in the process. I say that to say, sometimes with crews and cliques of major artists, there really isn't a presence of natural musical talent, at least not in its entirety. Yes, you may have an artist that has the charisma and the gift of gab to sound the part, and you may have some that can look the part as well. But when it comes down to it, like it did when Big died, either the artist has that lasting talent or they don't. In Junior Mafia's case, I don't think any of them had real talent outside of Lil' Kim to really last after taking such a hit like their leader being assassinated. Stunt number 3, conflict thereafter.
We all still there. We just might have little situations between us, but that's nothing. We've been doing that for a lot.
What, fighting
for
and then
years, yeah.
They say your boy is a snitch, man.
That could never be the case. You already know. Caesar Leo, B.I.G. for life. Could never be no ratting or none of that.
One thing that could help a group lacking their leader and the talent to stand alone is them all sticking together and lifting each other in their time to shine and not bickering amongst themselves, which is a surefire way to have the masses not care about you anymore. When B.I.G. died, most of the group went their separate ways, and music under the Junior Mafia name wasn't released at length until 2005, when only 3 of the original members released Riot music. Of course, without Lil' Kim, who sued those members for using her image to sell an album along with a DVD, it didn't perform well. She and Lil Cease, who was once signed to her label and seen as her little brother of sorts, would have their own issues as he testified against Lil' Kim after being subpoenaed by the FBI on her case of perjury in 2005. Cease, along with Banga, aka Larceny, pointed out Lil' Kim in video and acknowledged that she knew individuals involved in a shooting outside Hot 97 in 2001 that led to her conviction and sentence to over a year in prison. After her release, her relationship with the crew, especially Cease, came to a halt as she labeled him a snitch for taking the stand. Lil Cease blamed her for not calling him to her defense before the FBI did, and even taking it to trial instead of taking a plea when she knew of her involvement. Whether you believe Cease to be a snitch or not, it was the end of the Mafia at that point, as they, as a crew, were history. All in all, Junior Mafia had a fun run while B.I.G. was alive. It was short, yes, but without him, none of them would have gotten into the music industry, in my opinion, except maybe Lil' Kim. They're a classic hip-hop crew entirely because of B.I.G.'s stardom and aura after he died that best show you why hip-hop collectives never stand alone or stand the test of time. Lil' Kim and Lil Cease recently made amends decades too late musically, but I'm sure it brought closure to the once promising duo and collective. Salute to them, much respect, but for these reasons, they failed as a hip-hop crew. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.